Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene here at the Hard Rock Casino in Catoosa. And, of course, the Cherokee Nation being our title sponsor. I'm Chris Lincoln.
I'm Grant Merrill, and this is the perfect place to be this weekend if you want to watch the last football game of the college football season, a little basketball as well, on one of the 51 different big screens that they have here in the Replay Sports Bar. Great place to be anytime you want to watch sports here at the Hard Rock Casino in Catoosa. Bunch of activities coming up as well. If you're a concert guy like me, this Thursday, December 9th, Wade Hayes is going to be in the house. Make plans for New Year's Eve at the Track 5 Concert Hall as Jason Boland and the Stragglers will be here. Both of those shows are free. I know that's the price you like.
I love that. Exactly. Perfect.
Hard Rock Live concerts will include Gary Allen. He'll be here on December 30th, the day before New Year's Eve. Tickets on sale $69.50 a piece. And the upcoming promotion, the first live game show in the Tulsa area, Hard Rock Live. It returns in December. Cash prizes, that's going to be on the 15th, the 22nd, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. We could even get you on the game show.
That was a month ago, and that was so successful. People loved it, so brought it back for the month of December for you. Get involved with the game show there. And we have got a jam-packed show, and I tell you, got all kinds of stuff for you. You're going to really enjoy this one. Here's our show lineup. We're going to, of course, start with the big headline of the week. Oklahoma has their head football coach, Brent Venables, returns to OU, and we'll have some comments from the coach at his welcoming press conference. And then, of course, for OSU, by inches, lose the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, they sure did. And, of course, their comeback just fell short against the Baylor Bears. And this is the first time since 2014 that a non-Oklahoma school will be atop the Big 12. And so they still get to go to a bowl game. We found out they'll play Notre Dame. And we got a couple of different bowl announcements being made over the weekend. And
we'll hear from Mike Gundy right after that heartbreaking loss to Baylor in the Big 12 championship game. Then the college football playoffs, well, it took them 14 weeks. Yeah, we finally have our Final Four. The semifinals will be December 31st at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, AT&T Stadium. It'll be number 1 Alabama, number 4 Cincinnati, and there it was. History made, finally. The glass ceiling shattered as a non-Power 5 school finally gets in the playoffs. Well deserved, too.
Cincinnati, I think Luke Fickell had been approached by just about everybody in the country about a job this week, but he said, no, I'm staying with the Bearcats. And, that's a big deal for them as they, of course, get into that top 4. And then that same day, Orange Bowl in Miami, 7:30 kickoff on ESPN. Michigan and Georgia, they'll be facing off as, of course, Georgia's going to have to do a lot better than they did against Alabama. We were watching that game in the press box at UCO and Edmond, and Georgia was just dominated by Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide.
That number 1 Georgia defense just got shredded by Alabama, and I feel bad for Cincinnati. They worked so hard, they got to this point. Careful what you wish for. It's Cincinnati against the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, winners of both of those games playing on January 10th, 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Well, our Big 4 teams are all going bowling. It's been a great season for them. All made it to a postseason play.
Yeah, Tulsa is even going bowling. We're happy for Philip Montgomery and his crew. They'll be headed to Myrtle Beach, 1:30 p.m. on December 20th. That's an ESPN game. Tulsa taking on Old Dominion. Who even knew they had a football team? But they do.
That's right. Both are bowl eligible here.
And both of them 6-6 on the season going
Now, the Interim Bowl, also known as the Alamo Bowl, in San Antonio, December 29th. That's 8:15 p.m. ESPN, and that's because it's Oklahoma, Oregon, and both with interim football coaches. For Oklahoma, it's a Hall of Famer, Bob Stoops. In fact, congratulations, Coach Stoops, going in the Hall of Fame this week. So congratulations to Bob. And Oregon, of course, Mario Cristobal just left for $8 million a year or something like that to go to Miami of Florida, back to his alma mater. And they have not named a coach yet as we're on the air for the Oregon Ducks. So both interim head coaches with Oregon and Oklahoma. That's the Alamo Bowl on December 29th.
Say it with me. How about them Hogs?
I knew you'd love that, huh?
Arkansas will take on Penn State in the Outback Bowl, Tampa, Florida. That's 11 a.m. on ESPN2 on New Year's Day. I was actually watching the video of Sam Pittman getting the call from the lady that is the head of the Outback Bowl, and she said, well, Mr. Yurachek, Mr. Pittman, we would just want to invite you to the Outback Bowl. What do you have to say? And true Sam Pittman style, yes, ma'am. So I think he may have asked for a bloomin' onion as well.
They better gear up with those bloomin' onions to take care of Sam Pittman and that staff and those Hogs when they come down there to the Outback Bowl. But what a great matchup it should be with Penn State, huh? And again, what a tremendous job that Sam's done there to get those Hogs to 8-4.
Yeah, he's done an incredible job. A lot of people 3 years ago couldn't have imagined when Chad Morris left. And a lot of people weren't real impressed by the Sam Pittman hire. The guy's never been a head coach before outside of 2 years at Hutchinson Junior College in Kansas, and then, but he has turned out to be the right guy at the right time in Arkansas. And really, it's somebody who's from Arkansas and has a lot of different, my social media is just packed with, he is very well loved in that state, and he can probably do anything he wants. So.
It's funny because we were talking to Loren Montgomery. You were setting up that Zoom call earlier today to have him on the show, the Bixby high school football coach, talk about their championship and their 4th title in a row here. But he said, well, guys, I apologize. I'm running a little late. And why did he apologize?
Sam Pittman was in his office.
Right.
We have some exceptional recruiters in this region, and Bob Stoops is one of them. He's on the road this week in his interim duties. He has been all over the place. 5 different cities in one day recruiting. Sam Pittman on the road as well. Just an exceptional guy. He got Jaden Hazelwood, the transfer from Oklahoma, went into the transfer portal, and he is now an Arkansas Razorback as of this week. Yeah. And so now you're not only recruiting schools, but recruiting that transfer portal as well.
True. And, of course, the big highlight of our 4 bowl teams going for postseason had to be the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They're one of the big bowl games, the New Year's 6 bowl games, and they are at the Fiesta Bowl, Glendale, Arizona, New Year's Day. And what a matchup. It's number 9, Oklahoma State, and number 5, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. First meeting ever between those 2 schools. Well,
Marcus Freeman's the new coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish after Brian Kelly left, found himself a Southern accent, and went to LSU. And Marcus Freeman, pretty impressive. I saw an interview over the weekend with him, 35 years old and now at the helm of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And, a lot of people wondering why in the world Brian Kelly would leave for LSU. Well, money talks. He's got these deals that these coaches are getting are just unbelievable. We hear about what Lincoln Riley got, the payoff of 2 houses in Oklahoma and a $6 million mansion in LA, private jet to use anytime. He's living the Chris Lincoln lifestyle, everybody.
Congratulations, Lincoln, but we're glad to see you go. Boy, they turned on him in a hurry, didn't they?
They did. Woo-hoo. They did.
Hey, we'll also review, of course, the high school football championship games in Oklahoma, and we were over there for all 5 of them, Grant. And we're going to have on the set with us here Keith Riggs, the head football coach of the 6A1 champion Jenks Trojans, and by a Zoom call earlier today because their sports banquet is when we were taping the show. Loren Montgomery from the 6A2 Bixby Spartans.
Well, I tell you, we had a great weekend calling all those games on the radio on my Game Day Oklahoma network, and appreciate 107.7 The Franchise in Oklahoma City and the Sports Animal 97.1 and all of our other stations who let me and Chris on their airwaves, maybe against better judgment, but we got on there and called some ball games anyway, and what a game we had. One I'm excited to talk about with Michael Knight later is the big 5A matchup between Collinsville and McAllister. Collinsville Cardinals getting their first state title ever, and it came down to 6 seconds left in the game for them to do it.
And the whole town of Collinsville was at the 7-Eleven outside of sitting there loading for them back, and then the whole town turned out, I think, to have a celebration and a parade for the guys, and they came back late on Saturday night. So fantastic.
Well, I told somebody if you ever wanted to speed through Collinsville at 90 miles an hour, that was the time to do it because everybody, including all their police officers, were at that ball game on Saturday night.
Well, some hot topics that we've been discussing, too, real quickly. The Major League Baseball lockout. Yes, they've locked out for the first time in 25 years. At this point, who cares? Kentucky Derby horse died. That hit me hard. Medina Spirit, Bob Baffert's trainee, the one that finished first the Kentucky Derby, was disqualified for a medication situation, which they are still litigating. Well, the other morning he dropped dead on the track at Saturday after a regular workout. Of course, he just came off a great second-place run in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So tough news there for Medina Spirit. Oilers, boy, they're hot on the ice right now, aren't they?
Well, they finally have some ice to skate on after they got their stuff figured out in the early going, but they have their longest winning streak of the season, going at 4 games after last Sunday's 5-2 win over Wichita. The Oilers now 10-5-1, just 2 points out of first place in the ECHL Mountain Division. They have home games against Utah this coming Thursday and Friday at 7:05, and then Sunday at 4:05 at the BOK.
And you hear that sound revving up? That's Emmett Hahn's car racing inside the Expo Square, and they're setting records again. The Lucas Oil Tulsa Shootout, smashing entry records already. They run December 29th through January the 1st, 2022, inside the Expo Square Pavilion on the Expo Square Pavilion, not Pavilion, the arena there on the Tulsa Fairgrounds. Already the number of entries, listen to this, Grant, entries received for the world's largest indoor micro sprint race, broke with 1,430 entries, 617 drivers coming to Expo Square December 29th.
Well, coming up, the Oklahoma Sooners have their man as Brent Venables is in town. We'll talk about that next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
'Tis the season for $500,000 Red Spins Remix. Saturday, November 13th through December 18th, we'll draw 60 winners to play our VGT tournament with a $15,000 top prize each tournament. Start earning entries November 1st at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite. Then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
The world-class thoroughbreds are racing at Remington Park. There's live racing now through December 17th. So don't miss all the action on the track and in the casino. Send your heart racing at Remington Park.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
So how did Billy Sims reinvent the burger? Easy! By starting with an all-out hands-down love for the juiciest burger this side of the 50-yard line. Combine that with craveable sides and shakes, and you have the best home-style crafted burger. You gotta check this out!
Well, 1 week after head football coach Lincoln Riley decided to head west to USC to become the Trojans head coach, the Oklahoma Sooners got their man. They brought back Brent Venables, their former defensive coordinator, the outstanding defensive coordinator, two-time national champion Clemson Tigers. They returned to Norman, and he returned with a lot of fanfare. I mean, they had everybody out there Sunday night when that private jet came in from Carolina.
Well, the good thing about this day and age is that you can enter a tail number on the computer and you can see where those jets are flying to.
Yeah.
And it's caused a lot of speculation. Of course, you know, a couple of weeks ago there was a jet flying between Norman and Baton Rouge, and everybody swore up and down that Lincoln Riley's wife was going to look for a house down there. And, you know, it was just, but yesterday everybody was spot on, and last night, what a crowd to greet our new coach, Brent Venables, at Westheimer Field there in Norman.
I'm sure you've seen online, the internet, of course, exploded with the idea they couldn't resist themselves that when Lincoln Riley arrived with his family in that big private jet in California, there was one person, the pilot, standing down there at the end of the steps. But boy, they turned out. They had Boomer Sooner out there. They had Sooner Schooner. They had the pep band. All the about 500 fans out there at Westheimer Field in Norman on a chilly Sunday night. Then, of course, Monday they had another pep rally. It opened to all the fans to come out. They went did the big indoor practice facility there, and had a chance to cheer them on again there too.
Well, you know, one thing about it is that Brent Venables' enthusiasm is just contagious. I was grinning from ear to ear watching that plane land, and you know. And I don't know if he even knew that he had that kind of reception coming when he got to Norman, but there were probably between 500 and 1,000 people out there. And like you said, the band there playing Boomer Sooner, he's dancing along to the music. And, you know, it was just a really cool night that most of Oklahoma will never forget.
Well, then it was in the media, then we got 30 minutes with him. That's it, because he said, boys, I got to go recruit.
Right.
So we had 30 minutes. Let's pick up some of the highlights of Brent Venables' first official press conference as the 24th head football coach of the Oklahoma Sooners.
The head football coach at the University of Oklahoma, Brent Venables.
Thanks, Joe. It's great to be here today. Thank you again all for coming. It's kind of surreal for me to look around and see so many familiar faces and see a bunch of friends out here, and just an amazing journey here these last few days. Again, as I said earlier, if you would have asked me, 10 years ago, as I walked out of my office for the the last time, and if I thought I'd be here 10 years later as the head football coach, I would have told you need to check yourself and do a mental institution. And the biggest reason is it's just, this is Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is a special place, and there's a lot of incredible coaches out there, and that's where I have as much respect for the coaching profession. A lot of options, lots of choices, and so again, just grateful to be here. Really looking forward to the opportunities. The number one thing for me and my family as I looked at this opportunity was the leadership here, and people in the profession know Joe Castiglione, Joe Harris, the Board of Regents, the leadership in this university. It's first of all, it's first class, and secondly, they're about their business. They know what they're doing. They're very professional in everything that they do. The alignment is very real. It's very tangible. The direction, the focus, and the commitment is second to none. They don't take a backseat to anybody. And so as a football coach, that's what you're always looking for. If you're going to align yourself as a head football coach, you need to make sure that everything's in place from a resource standpoint, from a commitment standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. And so Oklahoma, again, has that reputation, and being behind the scenes from that standpoint can verify that. Again, take a backseat to nobody. So to partner with this leadership was a no-brainer for me. To have the opportunity to be the next football coach at Oklahoma, something that you have to look at, that you can't turn down. And I've been very patient my career. I'm a very faith-driven decision maker. And when this call came, however long ago it was, you lose sense of days, as you all know, in this process. This one was special, and I just again appreciate the leadership and their belief in me, and their faith in me and my leadership and my ability to be the head football coach here. Truly blessed beyond what I deserve. So again, I'll open it up however they want. And just again, great to be here. Just really thankful.
I know he gets you fired up, doesn't he, Grant?
Yeah, he does. It's going to be a fun season.
It really will be. Brent Venables, the head football coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. While Sooners are celebrating their new coach, the Oklahoma State Cowboy fans still trying to put that back. What a heartbreaking loss.
Well, they go down and end up losing to Baylor in the Big 12 championship. Got a lot to talk about with that coming up. So, stay right there on the Oklahoma Sports Scene show here from the Hard Rock Casino. Grant Merrill is going to talk some with Mike Gundy and the Cowboys and see if we can repair that tough loss to the Big 12. Stay with us.
A classic never changes. It just gets better. Live your greatest hits at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa.
What happens when Rumble of the Oklahoma City Thunder takes on the two fellas and a big vehicle team on the court? They should leave it to a professional. And when it comes to moving the Thunder and all of Rumble's stuff, he should leave it to the professionals.
We got this. Let the pros from two fellas take it from here.
The Tulsa Oilers are back. With a new owner, a new look, and a new attitude. The puck drops Sunday at 4:05. Stay after the game and skate with the players at the BOK Center. It's the ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Tickets at TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers are back.
Welcome back to the all-new Oklahoma Sports Scene, presented by the Cherokee Nation here at the Hard Rock Casino in Catoosa. Grant Merrill, Chris Lincoln along with you. For the first time since 2014, there is a non-Oklahoma school atop the Big 12.
Don't like it.
Yeah, that would be the Baylor Bears. The Oklahoma State Cowboys' fourth quarter comeback fell short, 21-16, the final score in Arlington at Jerry's World on Saturday.
And I mean short by
that much. Baylor shocked Oklahoma State with a goal line stop on fourth down to win its first ever Big 12 championship game, as well as its first conference championship since 2014. OSU putting together a 17-play, 89-yard drive to face first and goal at the 2-yard line with about a minute and a half remaining, but the Bears defense hunkering down to get 4 consecutive stops, including beating Oklahoma State running back Desmond Jackson to the quarter on fourth down to escape Arlington with a historic win. What might Gundy have to say about that? Well, let's check in and see what his comments were after the game.
I told the team in the locker room how proud I was of them. They've done everything we've asked them to do since January and competed, and they showed a lot about their true character today. We had obviously a lot of things go against us. They continued to fight back and put themselves in a position, had a chance to win, obviously. Came up just a few inches short. But I also made them aware that that doesn't have anything to do with what they've accomplished this year. Essentially, when we start in January, we ask the players to do certain things. And they've done everything we've asked them to do for 11 months. Everything we've asked them to do. So we came up a little short. But I told them I couldn't be any more proud of them, the way they competed. Sometimes that happens when you put yourself in a situation like we're in. 2 really good teams play today. 2 teams that were pretty evenly matched. And if it would have ended up that much more the other way, it wouldn't have made them a failure either. The guys are hurting in there, but that's kind of the way it is. You know, every year teams build their own chemistry and they kind of become who they are. And these guys have practiced hard. They've stayed focused. They've been disciplined. They've worked hard, and they enjoy each other. And I say this all the time: is that, you know, this is not coaches don't make up teams. Coaches only provide a blueprint, and the players make the teams. And the success they've had is because of them, because of what they put into it. And they don't want it to be over. You know, they want another play. But, you know, as I said, I'm just proud of them, the way they compete. We still got another game. And it's a special group. They're looking forward to being together another 3 weeks or so before we go play in a bowl. Give them a week off. They need a break. They've pushed a lot. So I thought the atmosphere was unbelievable for the championship game. The Oklahoma State people, the way they showed up, and they were awesome. Couldn't ask for anything else. A big-time environment. So we learned a lot. We learned a lot as an organization. And I told them these things are difficult to swallow, but we'll be back. And we learn from these situations, and we make it better next time.
Well, you Cowboys have a lot to celebrate because Oklahoma State was the 8-1 regular season Big 12 champion. And, of course, they did not make it to the college football playoffs. I'm not sure they would have anyway, but they've been close, certainly. But, Grant, what a great bowl. A Fiesta Bowl against Notre Dame.
Well, they sure thought they were going to the college playoffs if they had won that game. But, you know, a bowl game against Notre Dame, first time these two teams have come together. And, you know, you've got Marcus Freeman, the new head coach. I saw him interviewed over the weekend. Pretty sharp
Impressive,
guy.
right?
I think he's
Right,
going to do well. 35 years old. Yeah. How would you like to be 35 years old and the new coach at Notre Dame?
Handed the keys to Notre Dame.
Right.
Wow.
Biggest job in the world in college football.
That's going to be great. That's a New Year's Six Bowl, of course, on January 1. They'll play out at the Fiesta Bowl there in Tempe, Arizona. It should be an outstanding contest. The Cowboys have a lot more to play for, and you hear from Coach Gundy. he's still so proud of his team, and they didn't drop their heads at all.
No, they didn't, and it's definitely a great year for the Cowboys, great year for their fans, and they may have to take those Best in Oklahoma billboards down after that game Saturday. But we just got a call from security that somebody's trying to smuggle a gold ball trophy through the checkpoint downstairs. That probably could only mean Keith Riggs is on his way out.
That's right. We're going to have the head football coach of the 18, right? 18-time state football champions. Keith Riggs coming here to talk with us. I know there's so many of those there. Keith Riggs, the Jenks Trojans will be right here on the set with us next on the new Oklahoma Sports Scene. Stay with us here from the Hard Rock Casino.
Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over.
Times may change, but the feeling stays the same.
Stay alive and keep it undercover. I just want to use your love tonight. I don't want to
Live your greatest hits at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
I'm Jenks football coach Keith Riggs, and you're watching Oklahoma Sports Scene.
The world-class thoroughbreds are racing at Remington Park. There's live racing now through December 17th. So don't miss all the action on the track and in the casino. Send your heart racing at Remington Park.
So how did Billy Sims reinvent the burger? Easy! By starting with an all-out hands-down love for the juiciest burger this side of the 50-yard line. Combine that with craveable sides and shakes, and you have the best home-style crafted burger. You gotta check this out!
Well, we welcome you back to a championship December edition of the all-new Oklahoma Sports Scene presented by the Cherokee Nation here at the Hard Rock Casino in Catoosa. Now, imagine that your team is down 15-0 at the half. You might think that the opponent was just ready to declare victory, but that's not what happens in Class 6A1 football in the great state of Oklahoma. With us, Keith Riggs, head coach of the Jenks Trojans, whose team was down 15-0, came back with 30 unanswered points and won the state championship on Saturday at the Chad Richardson Stadium on the UCO campus in Edmond. What a game, Coach, and I know you have a lot to be proud of, a lot of kids to be proud of. Just talk about what was going through your mind at halftime and what was going through your mind at the final buzzer.
Well, down 15-0, you can't help but worry a little bit, right? I was really proud of our kids, though. There was no sign of panic in their eyes or their actions. They just went back out to play the next play. And as bad as I felt we played in the first half, and it was mainly the first quarter that we didn't play very well, I felt like we were only down a touchdown, one score going into the half, and we were going to get the ball in the second half. Our coaches made some great adjustments at halftime, especially on the offensive side, and we got some great looks in the second half in the run game, and our defense just kind of took over as well. So great win, really proud of our kids.
Coach Riggs, most coaches come from a father's been a coach, or knew someone was a coach, or you were in college and was a coach. You were a sophomore and then came into coaching football. Talk about that transition.
Well, I grew up playing all sports, had a true love for football all my life, and because of an injury had to get out in college. But when I got out of school, teachers don't make a lot now. They really didn't make a lot then, right? And so I really enjoyed programming, so I decided to become a software developer. And one thing led to another. I started coaching youth football. I met David Tennyson, who was the defensive coordinator at Jenks, and became an adjunct coach. Next thing you know, 2 years later, I became a teacher, and here I am.
Well, how many years total now at Jenks? It's been
Started in 2003, 18 years.
Wow, and 4 years as the head coach now, of course. And
Yes, sir.
Now 18 gold balls in that Jenks trophy case.
Yes.
Incredible. Wow.
Well, some people end up going to college to be a coach. Some people go to work for Alan Trimble and get a college education and being a coach.
There's no better guy to learn from than Alan Trimble, man. Such a great man, and that has nothing to do with football. He's just an outstanding. I learned so much from him on the field and off the field. It was a pleasure to be a part of his program.
And you can always feel his legacy, can't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just look around, right?
Oh, sure.
Tag Gross won it again. Coach Montgomery won another one. David Tennyson took Beggs to the semifinals in 2A. You could just go on and on. A lot of people that have a lot to be thankful for being around Alan Trimble.
Well, the 26th consecutive year that either Jenks or Union have been in the state finals. Just such dominant. How do you explain, especially the western side of our audience here in the state of Oklahoma, the dominance of the eastern states, eastern side?
You know, it's hard. You know, there's a lot that goes into a championship level program, and Union certainly is there. It's not just one thing. You know, you got to have great coaches on your staff. You got to have amazing support from your parents and your community, from your administration. I don't think you can undervalue your youth program. You know,
sure.
Great group of people that run our youth program and parent volunteers that coach. And you know, football is a part of the Jenks community, and all of that plays into, I think, the success that we've had.
Well, I know that people look at the roster and they see your starting lineup and they see a freshman quarterback, Shaker Reeser, and they have to wonder, wow, you know, what's going on there? But he is the real deal, just a phenomenal athlete.
He really is. He's got some special talent. You know, you would have to be able to play at the 6A level as a freshman, and he does a lot of good things, and he's going to continue to get better. That's what's really exciting for us, right? I just think he showed great composure for such a young kid this year, and really excited for his future.
He came in from, where did he come from? Was it back east?
He moved from Rochester, New York,
right,
when in 6th grade.
Again, our friend Don King, who has all the Jenks stats,
Don
of course.
is awesome, yes.
Jenks played in its 28th state title game, most of any team in Oklahoma history. Trojans in the postseason for the 33rd consecutive season. That's the second longest streak, only to Cassia Hall, our friends out there. And there was 66 overall meeting between Jenks and Union. It's always been a great rivalry.
Well, it has. You know, so many great games, so many great finishes between the two teams. It's gone both ways, right? All the way back to, you know, the late 90s with those matchups, the Keywan Jones play.
Oh, yeah, remember that.
Yeah, just so many great memories, and it's just added to the rivalry. You know, the districts are right next door to each other, so the kids know each other growing up, and such great respect, though, both sides have for each other.
Well, you've got a new rival coming in now with Bixby moving into the Class 6A1. We've got Loren Montgomery on the show today, and of course talked to him a little bit about that change and what that's going to mean for this schedule, because it's a totally different landscape.
And they're in your district, right?
They are in our
Congratulations.
district. No, you know, we've played them every year.
Yeah.
Coach Montgomery's done an outstanding job over there getting that program rolling. I mean, they're just, you know, the last few years especially. I'm kind of excited to have them in our district and get to play them. And, you know, when you play them early, it's bragging rights only, right? But there's going to be a lot on the line. We play them week 10 next year, and hopefully we'll be playing for a district title in that game.
Coach, I want to get your feedback. We've asked a lot of the high school coaches, Grant's talked to a bunch of them too, about the transfer portal, the college level, is really having an impact on high school kids, plus this extra year they got because of COVID.
Yes, both things I think have negatively impacted high school kids. The transfer portal now, it's so easy for, I was talking to a coach today, you know, they were looking at taking 2 running backs in the 23 class, and one of them's for a transfer portal guy. They don't even know who it is, right? They just know that they're going to want an experienced running back in one of those spots. So that takes away a spot from a high school kid, probably. And so, yeah, I think it's certainly impacted, and certainly COVID with kids getting an extra year has cut down on the number of scholarships as well.
Well, if we know you and your program right, you've probably already gotten to work on next year as of today. And,
yes, we've been talking about 2022 today, and we've started meeting with our kids this afternoon, our underclassmen, about their goals for next year, our team goals for next year, and what we need to do to get there.
Well, we've got a lot coming up on our show. We want to present you with a $25 gift certificate to Billy Burger.
Yeah, that's right. Enjoy that.
21st and Yale.
I'm looking forward to that.
Billy Sims would love to have you as his guest over the Class 6A1 championship winning coach. So,
thanks for bringing the gold ball with you too, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
My pleasure. Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Coming up, Bixby's Loren Montgomery, the Class 6A2 champion. We'll talk to him after this.
The Tulsa Oilers are back on the ice.
With a new owner, a new look, and a new attitude. Wednesday night, December 15th, the ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment begins. 705 BOK Center. Tickets at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team. Your Tulsa Oilers are back.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
'Tis the season for $500,000 Red Spins Remix. Saturday, November 13th through December 18th, we'll draw 60 winners to play our VGT tournament with a $15,000 top prize each tournament. Start earning entries November 1st at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite. Then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Well, Grant and I are very pleased to be joined by the head football coach of the state champion Bixby Spartans again and again and again and again, Coach Loren Montgomery. Coach, congratulations on another 6A2 title. Fantastic performance there, destroying Edmond Deer Creek 63-14. And again, your 4th title in a row, 7 in the last 8 years. What a great run.
Thanks. I tell you what, it's been fun. We've had some great players and coaches, and the community of Bixby has just been phenomenal being behind us during this run.
Well, of course, that was your last game in Class 6A2. I think that there's probably a few people in that classification that were happy to escort y'all out of the stadium the other night so they could take over. But talk about what it's meant to have so many wins. I mean, we can't remember the last time you lost. It's so long ago. That everybody wants to know what your secret is, and the fact that when you win, you've won so big that nobody's been able to catch you.
Well, I don't know that there is a secret, because as we all know, winning's difficult. Fortunately, we've had a lot of folks in our program who have bought into our process, and that process heavily revolves around what we do in the weight room. I think in high school football, it's one area where there's still some competitive advantage, and we try to maximize that. Another thing is continuity, way underrated in football these days, with coaches moving around everywhere and people getting fired and all that. But we've had a ton of staff continuity. We've got middle school coaches who have been around for 25 years, 17 years. Our defensive coordinator has been with us for 10 years. Our offensive coordinator has been with us for 11 years. So just an excellent staff, a lot of continuity, and then couple that with a community that's thirsty to win or hungry to win all the time, and the support of the community. And so we've been able to somehow piece that together and have a pretty good run.
I want to talk about that, the feeder program that gets these young men ready in your system as they move on up to Bixby Spartan football. And what are some of the numbers? You guys have some big numbers in the program too.
Yeah, so in Tulsa area football, we don't get our kiddos until 8th grade as far as school ball, so to speak. And so some of the things that we've done to maybe bridge that gap is we do a couple of clinics with our youth coaches and try to get them to adopt some of our verbiage and terminology. We've started, of course, we train all the kids during the summer in our summer program, what we call SPA, Speed, Power, Agility. We started a 7th grade strength and conditioning program. It's a class at our middle school that our 7th graders do with our high school strength and conditioning coach. And then obviously once they get to school ball, they're running our system, using our verbiage. In fact, 2 of our 8th grade coaches are also varsity coaches since our 8th grade practices in the morning. So all those things have really helped with keep our program aligned and, I think create some consistency for our student athletes.
Well, it would almost seem you have another feeder system called the Presley family with Braylon and his brothers, and there's more coming up through the ranks in the younger grades. It would seem that family has been very good to you. And talk about Braylon's performance and some of the other kids in his family that are coming up.
Yeah, Grant, you're exactly right. The Presleys have been a big part of that. We were getting ready for the banquet just a moment ago, and I want to say that Braylon is responsible for almost 7,000 all-purpose yards over the last 4 years in our program, which is extremely significant, as you know. His brother, Brennan, who we all see at Oklahoma State, who's doing great things there, was also a 4-year starter for us, really about a 3-year starter for us. He came in midway through his freshman year, and we had some packages for him, had an interception in the 2016 state championship game as a dynamic player that never left the field. And then the youngest brother, Braden, was an 8th grader this year and a very talented defensive back, wide receiver at that level, and will be a freshman next year. So, we've had a long run, I guess, maybe since 2016 to hopefully have a couple more years with a Presley in the program.
Well, I know Grant and I had the pleasure of calling your game with Deer Creek on his Game Day Oklahoma Network coach, and I was so impressed with the entire team. Braylon Presley, the OSU commit, really jumps out. He had 16 carries, 171 yards in the game, 3 touchdowns, including a 94-yard touchdown run, 1 touchdown pass for 76 yards in the first play of the game, 191 total yards. That's just that one game. So, yes, such a special player. And again, congratulations on just having a fabulous roster there. And in all phases of the game, we were so impressed with that squad.
Well, appreciate it. I was proud of our guys all year long. We came out and played well in all 3 phases of the game. I think everybody kept expecting us to maybe have a lull or a hiccup or something along the way, but I think it lends to our leadership on the team. We just have some guys that were very intense about the way that we prepared, the way that we train, the way that we do all the things involved with our process in Bixby Spartan football.
Well, now looking forward, you have a totally different schedule. It's got people like Jenks and Union and Owasso and Broken Arrow on it. And what's the biggest changes that brings to the table for the way you prepare long term?
Grant, we've traditionally, we've played Bixby, or we've played Jenks for 100 years now. And so we're familiar with those guys. It'll be different because we'll play them later in the season. We're in the same district with them. So we'll play them in the 2022 season, week 10. And so we'll be in the same district with Jenks and Broken Arrow. And then we picked up, since we'll lose Jenks as a non-district game, we picked up Owasso as our first game. Picked up another out-of-state game because we're not doing the Border Brawl series with the Texas teams this year. So we picked up Springdale Harbor over in Arkansas, and then we'll keep Sand Springs on the roster. Coach Klink and I are friends. I'm a Sand Springs alumni, so that's a good one to keep on there. But we've continually grown, and we've continually tried to schedule difficult opponents in our non-district, and I think our record has shown that. I know that Coach Blankenship had mentioned that the competition will be stiffer week in and week out, and so we expect that, and we're excited for that challenge.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach, that another thing we need to get to is that all-time now win streak, 49 in a row, the longest win streak in the history of Oklahoma high school football, and one of the incredible accomplishments, including 13-0 this year. And I was looking at this rundown. I think 8 of your 13 games were 50 points or more. But again, congratulations. What does that winning streak mean to the Bixby program?
Well, it means a lot. The community, our community is a football community. And so football is important to the town of Bixby and then to our program. I don't know. I think it reinforces maybe some of the things that, we've tried to instill in our program. Hopefully it's reinforcing all those positive things. Winning sometimes can allow you to let go maybe of some of the little things or not be as disciplined on some of the little things. And hopefully that hasn't become the case, but I think it's very satisfying to all of our former players who have worked so hard to help build this thing down here, and then who have also been a part of all 49 of those wins.
I know that you hear rumors and you hear people talking when coaching jobs come open. I know when Broken Arrow came open last year, your name was a big one. I heard people suggesting you for the UCO job that just came open. And, you've made no bones about the fact that you're a Bixby guy, and it would seem that you've probably had some pretty tempting conversations that you've turned down to stay at Bixby. I know that Spartan program just really seems to mean a lot to you.
Yeah, it does mean a lot. And I think those of us guys that were in on the ground floor of this thing when we made the jump from 5A to 6A, and we had some pretty lean years, and all the hard work that has to go into it, it makes you want to stay and be here and continue to enjoy that success. However, when other places are attracted to coaches on our staff, I mean, I think that is a compliment that says they're seeing something in our program that they would like to have in their program. And so it's a compliment, but certainly we want to do everything we can in our program to retain our coaches and keep our coaches here.
Coach Loren Montgomery, again, congratulations on a 4th gold ball in a row, the 7th in the last 8 years, the 49-game win streak, on and on, 13-0 record, and again, a fantastic season. Great job for the Spartans. We're all very proud of you here, and thanks for joining us here on the Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. I sure do appreciate being on here, guys.
Well, we appreciate Loren Montgomery for jumping on with us and talking about that fantastic 6A2 finish for the Bixby Spartans, as they, of course, obliterated Deer Creek in their final on Thursday night. A couple of other games that happened over the weekend. We'll talk about the Collinsville Cardinals and McAllister with Michael Knight of Oklahoma Prep's Redzone. Good to have you on with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here.
That was one of the greatest games I've ever called on the radio. Saturday night, down to the wire, down to the 6-second mark. The Collinsville Cardinals advanced to defeat the McAllister Buffaloes without going to overtime. Just a nice feather in the cap for the OSSAA on all the different games they had this weekend.
Yeah, that was, coming into the championship week, that was the most anticipated matchup, Collinsville and McAllister. I've had them 1-2 all season. They were both undefeated on the year. And it lived up to it. And there were, so many times you hype up a matchup and it doesn't live up, or it ends up being a shocking blowout. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Clinton. Nobody really saw them just absolutely housing Tuttle on Friday night. But it was great to see 2 fantastic football teams. Unfortunately, McAllister, it seemed like they just ran out of gas. Yeah. Eric McCarty had an unbelievable performance in the title game. But you could tell that the cramping issue caught up with him. He just wasn't able to be 100% there at the end. And the Cardinals, they had more gas. They had more guys. Andrew Carney, Braden Gilkey, Oscar Hammond, a complete performance from them. And hats off to the Cardinals, first ever state title.
People from Collinsville telling me, even some of the old timers saying this may be the most talented team to ever come through the Cardinal program, and they sure showed it Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with a state championship.
No.
I mean, that team that made the 2015 title game, they were pretty talented as well. But, man, you talk about that big three that they had, and I know they have so many other guys, but when you talk about the Collinsville Cardinals in 2021, it's Carney, it's Gilkey, and it's Hammond. That was a fun trio to watch for the last couple years, and of course what they did this season.
Well, on Friday night, Class 4A belonged to the Clinton Red Tornadoes, and it was kind of shocking the fact that Tuttle came in undefeated. The Tuttle Tigers 13-0 coming into Friday night's championship game. The Clinton Red Tornadoes with just one loss on the year, and Clinton absolutely manhandled the Tuttle Tigers. They couldn't have bought a touchdown on Friday night, as intense as the Clinton defensive pressure was. And after the game, our own Christine Butterfield caught up with Coach Higbee. He just said, "Welcome to Clinton football. This is the way it's been all year long."
Yeah, I mean, they've been a running team. Caden Powell showed that on Friday night. He had a tremendous 3-touchdown performance from him. And then what he meant on defense and leading that defense for Clinton. They've been dominant all season. I didn't see it coming. It was kind of a consensus up in the press box. Nobody saw that coming. We thought it would be kind of like Collinsville-McAllister, a very evenly matched, hard-fought game. Clinton made it apparent very early on that was not going to be the case. They put Tuttle down early and were able to roll to a 17th state championship. And there for about 18 hours, they were tied for second place with Jenks. But of course, we know Jenks got that 18th title on Saturday. But hats off to Clinton. It appears that Texas might not be back, but Clinton certainly is. 2 straight title appearances, and they get the gold ball this year.
Friday afternoon in Class 3A, the Holland Hall Dutch with a big win over the Lincoln Christian Bulldogs for the second year in a row.
Yeah, unfortunately for Lincoln, they ran into that buzzsaw with Holland Hall. Max Brown, Lincoln's quarterback, kind of similar to McAllister. It was somewhat of a one-man show where Max Brown, he had to do it with the running game. Holland Hall completely took away the pass, did a great job making Lincoln Christian one-dimensional. That was a Lincoln Christian offense that had been so dominant all year, and to see Holland Hall's defense really step up and shut them down, it was impressive to see. That's a Holland Hall team, 2 straight state championships, a great senior class. Ethan Roush, what else can be said about him having to fit in as a quarterback, right before the playoffs start, and he had a tremendous championship game. Of course, the game-sealing interception to win it for the Dutch. So a great start to the championships, and of course we got 2 more this week.
Yeah, coming up on Saturday, 1 o'clock, it's Ringling and Cashin in the Class A state championship from UCO and Edmond, and then on that very same field, 7 o'clock, one I'm looking forward to, Class 2A championship between Barlow and Washington. We'll have both of those for you on 107.7 The Franchise in Oklahoma City and 97.1 The Sports Animal in Tulsa. Michael Knight, thanks for being with us. We'll be back with more Oklahoma Sports Scene right after this.
A classic never changes. It just gets better.
Jackie Blue lives her life from inside of a room. Makes you think that her life is a drag.
Live your greatest hits at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
The world-class thoroughbreds are racing at Remington Park. There's live racing now through December 17th. So don't miss all the action on the track and in the casino. Send your heart racing at Remington Park.
This past Friday night at Remington Park in Oklahoma City, I was honored to be the master of ceremonies for a special retirement celebration for a great friend of mine, their general manager, president, Scott Wells. Scott was born to the racing family. His dad, Ted Wells Jr., was a Hall of Fame trainer, a legend in the sport of quarter horse racing. They won an All-American Futurity together at Ruidoso Downs. Scott then went out on his own and had some pretty good guys teaching him. One of his first jobs was with trainer D. Wayne Lucas, then with Jack Van Berg. Both ended up being Hall of Fame trainers. After so many training sessions and so many early mornings, I think he decided maybe a manager would be a good way to go. So Scott Wells in 1990 came to Remington Park, started at the ground level, worked his way up, and soon became their vice president, general manager, and in 2008 took over the entire racetrack. Then on to Lone Star Park in Grand Prairie. He managed that one as well. His retirement, well-deserved, well-earned. Scott Wells, it's a pleasure to be with you this past Friday night. Remington Park coming down to their final 2 weeks of racing. Be sure to get out there before the 17th when they wrap things up. That's our Remington Report today. We're back with our wrap-up on the show right after this.
'Tis the season for $500,000 Red Spins Remix. Saturday, November 13th through December 18th, we'll draw 60 winners to play our VGT tournament with a $15,000 top prize each tournament. Start earning entries November 1st at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Tulsa's top spot for a good time awaits you. Come experience award-winning entertainment and nightlife. Escape and relax. Savor every bite. Then bring it all in for your encore. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Voted Tulsa's best.
What happens when Rumble of the Oklahoma City Thunder takes on the two fellas and a big vehicle team on the court? They should leave it to a professional. And when it comes to moving the Thunder and all of Rumble's stuff, he should leave it to the professionals.
We got this. Let the pros from two fellas take it from here.
So how did Billy Sims reinvent the burger? Easy! By starting with an all-out hands-down love for the juiciest burger this side of the 50-yard line. Combine that with craveable sides and shakes, and you have the best home-style crafted burger. You gotta check this out!
The world-class thoroughbreds are racing at Remington Park. There's live racing now through December 17th. So don't miss all the action on the track and in the casino. Send your heart racing at Remington Park.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
Welcome back to the all-new Oklahoma Sports Scene, presented by the Cherokee Nation here at the Hard Rock Casino in Catoosa. Coming up this weekend, more high school state championship football. Back to the west side we go. You and I will be at Chad Richardson Stadium in Edmond on the UCO campus. We'll have Cashin and Ringling in the Class A championship starting at 1 p.m. 7 o'clock, Class 2A. It'll be Marlowe and Washington, two really good football teams. And, of course, you and I will be on the radio with those on the Game Day Oklahoma Network, 107.7 The Franchise in Oklahoma City, the Sports Animal 97.1 in Tulsa, and a bunch of other great radio stations around the state. And then Saturday as well, hate to miss OU and Arkansas at the BOK.
Big basketball game in the BOK with those Arkansas Razorbacks coming into the week, undefeated, nationally ranked at number 12 in the nation. And Oklahoma off to a great start this season, 7-1 under their new basketball coach. They're meeting at the BOK Center, tip-off at 12:30 down here in Tulsa. Get out and see the Razorbacks and the Sooners. And the final game, yes, the final game of the regular college football season, the traditional game, the game of honor, they say, Army-Navy.
Hey, Porter, if you're watching, you're going to need some of Sister Jean's prayers when the Must Bus rolls into Tulsa and the Razorbacks are on the road.
There you go, that's right. 1 o'clock, CBS is Army-Navy, and it's always a classic game, so I know you'll enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed the show. Packed with champions today, and we'll have more for you next week, right?
Absolutely. We hope that you'll be with us for the all-new Oklahoma Sports Scene right here on Cox Yurview Channel 3. Thanks for watching, everybody.